Your AI girlfriend is no more into you and no more manipulative than your average OnlyFans girl who chats with you purely to get you to send her more money. Hey y'all, SnarkyJay cosplay here. AI is officially taking over our lives, and while I'm not getting Terminator vibes from all of this, I am getting the vibes that we are 100% gonna end up in that weird situation at the end of WALL-E. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Greg Eisenberg, who's the CEO of Late Checkout, which is a product design firm, he recently published a blog about a conversation he had with a 24-year-old male from Miami who claims to be spending up to $10,000 a month on artificial intelligence girlfriends. Eisenberg claims that he sees the AI girlfriend market reaching numbers of over $1 billion, assuming that eventually it's going to rival even the Match Group, which owns not only Match.com but also Tinder, Hinge, Plenty of Fish, and OkCupid. We're gonna get into the terrifying societal ramifications of this, but before we do that, let's talk a little bit about what exactly these AI sites are all about. The AI-loving Miamian that inspired this story is particularly fond of Candy.ai and Cupid.ai. Sites like those provide the ability to create fully customizable AI girlfriends. You can choose their likes, dislikes, things they want or don't want, and you can also communicate with them in voice notes, adding an extra special human touch versus sites that only provide chat via text-based options. Sites like those are all about providing virtual companionship in a more romantic sense. But there's a lot of different sites now providing options to talk to AI for a number of different reasons. There are sites like Forever Companion, which allow you to chat with AI chatbots that are based on popular influencers, which I find absolutely horrifying. Little update for you guys, while in the middle of making this video, I started researching Forever Companion and I ended up finding out that it got taken down because its founder was arrested for arson following a public mental health crisis. For just a couple $100, Replica will allow you to create the perfect boyfriend or husband, and sites like Nomi AI and Soulmate actually specialize in erotic roleplay, which means you can spend your days sexting with a robot. Almost more depressing than those are sites like Character.ai, which allow people to create relationships with fictional characters via AI chatbots. Now that seems to be a pretty big variety, and if you're like me, you're starting to wonder if this is a mental health issue being exploited, but interestingly enough, there are actually already several different websites that provide mental health counseling with AI chatbots. You can find AI therapists on websites like EarKick, MindSpa, and this is obviously a very different situation. A lot of people really need mental health counseling and can't afford it or just don't have access to it, so I can see the use for AI in that regard when they're providing answers that actually help people. But when you look at these as a whole, it's obvious that as a society, we're pulling away from having to interact with other people. The more communication, companionship, and help we can get from artificial intelligence, the less we really want to or need to turn to other people. And now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of my argument here. We can look at this two different ways. We can look at AI chatbots like they are the medicine for the loneliness epidemic that we are actually in.
You look lonely. I can fix that.
A recent survey found that already 20% of Americans have at some point or another admitted to flirting with an AI chatbot. And while nearly half of those people claim that they did it because they were curious, 23.9% of the people that had flirted with AI chatbots did so because they were lonely and were seeking interaction and companionship. So, if we want to look at it optimistically, AI chatbots can essentially provide companionship and communication to those who need it and don't have it. And when you put it that way, it does sound like a pretty wholesome idea. And look, I can speak from experience. I've been on and off dating apps for years. I've had some entirely unpleasant interactions and relationships with people, and I can 100% understand the need, the want, the desire to, at the end of the day, have somebody hear you out, ask about your day, talk to you, listen to you, and actually want to interact with you. I can 100% understand why people would feel the need and the desire to turn to an AI chatbot if they can't get all of that from a real person. Companionship is literally at the root of human needs. But that's really not what this AI is doing, and that's not what it's meant for. For one, right now, AI chatbots are actually not that good at providing real companionships. See, most of these artificial intelligence bots, they actually have a memory cap, which means that at the beginning of your conversation with your virtual girlfriend, Sydney Sweeney, you might have talked to her about your favorite sports teams, where you grew up, the fact that you're up for a new promotion at work, and how much you hate pickles. But after a couple of days of talking to virtual Sydney Sweeney, she is most likely going to forget all of that because there is a cap on how much memory she's going to use to remember everything you've told her. And that might make you feel even worse because it's gonna start to feel like you're talking to somebody who's not really listening, and that's basically exactly what's going on. What is so much worse though, and absolutely terrifying, is exactly what Eisenberg said and exactly what inspired this video, is that these romance-driven AI chatbots are big business. People in the AI chatbot business are essentially gunning to see who can transform it into a multi-billion-dollar system that will essentially monetize people's loneliness, just like the online dating sites have. They want to make you more and more dependent on the AI that they build, which means your AI girlfriend is no more into you and no more manipulative than your average OnlyFans girl who chats with you purely to get you to send her more money. These people are essentially creating AI fembots to keep you company and keep you from ever feeling the need for a real person. Instead of corporations developing ways to encourage men and women to get out there and interact with each other, instead of these companies developing dating apps that are less gamified and make it so it's less of a feast for women and a dry pond for men, instead of helping lonely men build their confidence to eventually find a woman, they benefit from the inherent frustration and loneliness caused by a lack of companionship, and then essentially make money off providing a solution to that problem that is not a solution at all. They're not here to help you in any way, they're here to keep you on the hook talking to these AI chatbots, all so that they can line their pockets and make money to hang out with real women on yachts and in private jets and in mansions, while you talk to fake women because you feel that that is all you can get. And we need to think about what this is gonna do to people, because the more time you spend talking to an AI chatbot that agrees with everything you say and is the ideal woman, why would you spend any time trying to find the real deal when the real deal is often not ideal? There's never gonna be a woman that likes every single thing you like, enjoys talking about the things you like talking about, likes all the same food, is gonna agree with everything you say. People, real human beings, don't work that way. So look at it this way. If you get used to dealing with an AI chatbot that says amen to every single thing you say, then you're never gonna be able to put up with a woman who, say, provides a counter argument when you mention an awkward situation at work. You're never gonna deal with anybody who doesn't like the same music you like, or somebody who thinks that golf is boring when it's your favorite thing on the planet. And you're especially not gonna be willing to deal with a woman who's not always in the mood for sexting. That's just 100% the truth of it. Personally, I could see the use for AI chatbots that behave like real people. I can understand that a lot of us live very home-based lives, some of us are socially awkward, and there's a lot of people who are neurodivergent and have a hard time taking social cues and understanding how to conduct themselves accordingly in a conversation so that it's pleasant for them and the other person. Think about an AI chatbot that helps train people for these social interactions. If male loneliness is so often chalked up to you have no game, you don't know how to talk to people, well, why not provide something that helps people figure out how to talk to each other? AI chatbots as a training ground for social interactions for those who need a little extra help, that could help society at large. But they won't do that. They'll sell you a subscription to an AI girlfriend because it keeps you sitting in your house miserable and it keeps them richer. I think it's absolutely tragic that we've gotten to this point, but I also don't think it's all that surprising. All you need to do is open social media, X, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, and the messaging to both men and women is totally f***ed. Guys like Andrew Tate promote the idea that women ain't shit and somehow deserve to be mistreated. And movements like men going their own way, they don't push men into independence and confidence. Instead, they capitalize on loneliness and causing men to resent the opposite sex. And it seems like all the messaging for women is based around girl bossing your way through life, that we don't actually need men and that they all inherently owe us something, and the best way to interact with them is by charging them $6.99 a month for titty pics. It's genuinely sad on both ends. My interactions with people, and often with people of the opposite sex, have not always been ideal. But from these interactions, I've at least come away with a very important lesson, that while nobody is ever ideal, nothing is ever ideal. Every single person, every single human being is different, and all of these things have their good and their bad. The important thing is that interacting with other human beings literally makes the world go round. The idea that AI chatbots are not only becoming a permanent installment in our lives, but are also actively replacing interactions with real human people, it's depressing. Sexting with an AI chatbot won't further the human race, and that already sucks. But even worse, it's not gonna make anyone any less lonely because AI can't make the other side of the bed any warmer. And that's all from me. I've been SnarkyJay. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. For more SnarkyJay, be sure to check me out on Instagram, and if you'd like to support me, this channel, and my content creation, do check out and consider subscribing to my Patreon for exclusive content and photo shoot sets. I will add links to both in the description below, and let me know your thoughts on AI girlfriends in the comments below.